we want to bring in our Molly Hooper to give us a little bit more of an in-depth analysis of what we can expect from President Trump's impeachment vote. Molly, thank you so much for joining us. I want to start first off with you. I want to start with the House, which will be in session in really just a couple of hours. We are hearing that Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy will not be whipping the vote, meaning that he will not be putting pressure on Republicans to vote in a certain way. He's going to allow them to vote their conscience. We also know that the number 3 Republican in the chamber, Liz Cheney, came out with a very forceful statement saying that she was in favor of impeachment, saying, you know, that the president is certainly responsible for the violence that descended on the Capitol building. She's got some pretty significant influence.
Yes, she does, but she also has a lot of detractors within the Republican conference who say that she is anti-Trump, and they really don't like that. When you talk to people in the Freedom Caucus and talk to those individuals who voted to object to the Pennsylvania and Arizona votes, there's more than 100 Republicans who may not necessarily be supporting Liz Cheney's position. But overall, what the Republicans have been saying, the individuals who are contesting this impeachment effort, they say that the president, in the specific language of the impeachment resolution, the incitement to insurrection article, they say that the president's words didn't necessarily incite. Yes, it riled people up, it got people upset. They went to protest the Capitol, but the incitement language needs to be very precise and has a certain meaning when it comes to legalese. But I think that what Liz Cheney is saying is that she goes one step beyond that. She says it's not just the words that matter. It's the fact that the president sat for 2 hours watching the scene unfold on Capitol Hill and did nothing. There's been a lot of reporting how the president just would not take calls from Republican leaders who are frantically trying to get a hold of the White House to say, get the National Guard here, get the FBI here, we need help now. And he did not heed those warnings and those urgent pleas for help. And so that's one of the reasons why Liz Cheney said the president should be removed from office. And if the impeachment does move through and would be successful, let's say, but that would bar him from running for office in the future.
So the New York Times, Debra Alfarone sort of talked about this. The New York Times is reporting that the top Republican in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, is, quote, pleased about the impeachment. We haven't confirmed that here at CBS, but sort of all last night there were a number of leaks coming out of Mitch McConnell's office suggesting, among other things, not only was he pleased, but that he's very angry at the president, looking forward to a Republican Party without the influence of President Trump. This is just all stuff that's sort of out there being reported. So what do we make of this? You know, he's not on the record saying any of this.
Well, he's not, but he was one of the first Republicans to acknowledge President-elect Biden, and that really got Trump's ire. And one thing that you can look to regarding Mitch McConnell is his wife, Elaine Chao, who immediately tendered her resignation as Secretary of Transportation after this scene unfolded on Capitol Hill. She was one of the first individuals in the administration to resign from her post because of what happened at the Capitol. And they're married. So, you know, one would think that probably she consulted her husband, and if he didn't push back, that was a pretty quick resignation. In addition, Mitch McConnell is an institutionalist. And one of the reasons that he opposed impeachment last go-round is because he felt that Democrats rushed the process through, did not include Republicans, didn't even attempt to go through the court system in order to get the documents they requested in the investigative and fact-finding mission regarding the impeachment last go-round, which had more to do with conspiracy and a secret, plot to win the election. This go-round, the impeachment evidence, and this is what you'll hear from Democrats in the House, it's very evident. It happened over a period of 6 hours and came face-to-face with lawmakers on Wednesday. You have the speech that the president gave, you have the actions that followed that speech, and then you have the president's actions beyond that. And I think that if it is in fact true that Mitch McConnell is pleased, it would be more so because the president did not immediately go to the microphones and completely denounce the effort and say, stand down. The president waited. And even when he did come forward and put a statement out, it wasn't necessarily the statement that lawmakers were hoping for. It wasn't as forceful as they believe it should have been when, ostensibly President Trump's supporters were up on Capitol Hill rioting, looting, defacing, and threatening the lives of lawmakers and their staff and law enforcement, Capitol Police.
So looking forward to what is expected to be an unprecedented day on the Hill, the president is on track to be the only president impeached twice. If the Senate goes on to convict, what does that mean for the president?
Well, then he's removed from office. And again, I think that the key part of that impeachment is that he would not be able to run for office again. And that's really what the effort behind this is. People are asking, hey, well, why are the Republicans, why are the Democrats moving this when there's only 7 days left for the president's term? And I think that it's that second point. It would bar the president from running for office in the future that they're really holding firm with. And there's a school of thought as to whether you can impeach a president after he or she leaves office. And, depending on who you talk to, it's constitutional, it's not constitutional, but we will see in the days ahead how that plays out and what in fact happens and how many of those institutionalists in the Senate who feel that it was the executive branch that was essentially declaring war on the legislative branch who don't want to stand for it and are going to put their foot down. We will see that in the next few days ahead.
We will be watching. Molly Hooper, thank you.
Thank you.